freshman year of college, I tried rowing. Literally, they hit us with the look to your left, look to your right. 90% of people aren't going to be here next year. And I looked to the left and I looked to the right and I was like, bitch, I'm going to be here. Not you guys.
Hell yeah.
I quit. Okay, welcome back to Barely Scraping By. We started this one in a hurry, a very, very fast hurry. I picked Emma up from the car, met her for about 20 seconds. Truly, I've never had a person on the pod where I haven't met before. And I picked her up from the car, rushed her up the stairs, and sat her ass down. And I'm like, hello, how are you? Lights, camera, action. So this one's coming out hot. I literally just asked her how to pronounce her last name. That's how foreign we are to each other. And we're jumping into it, ready to rumble.
So excited, so sorry. That's all my fault for being late, but so excited to get started.
No, this is good. I was like, should I call, like this week I was like, should I call her? Like, should I like get to know her at all? And I'm like, I'll figure it out this weekend. And then you're here. I'm like, oh, we got it. We're good.
No, it works for me. This is perfect.
Amazing. The connection with Emma was through one of my producers on the show, Nicole. And so Nicole was talking so highly about you. And
So
you guys
sweet.
met, I know, you guys met through and have that connection. And then you work at a different talent agency.
Yeah.
And I was kind of trying to rack my brain of like, who could be someone on that would be a good person to speak to that I haven't met. Like Nicole was like, you should try to speak to someone you haven't met before just to see how that goes in conversation, because there's going to be times in the future where this is going to happen again and again.
Right.
So
oh my
this
God,
is exciting.
I'm so honored to be this like case study for you.
Truly, I'm like, okay, how am I? This is a challenge for Claire. But this first season is all about assistants.
Okay, love.
And so I want to show the audience or people listening that this industry is hard and all we see is the people at the top, the executives, the ones in the nice cars, like the agents who are the agent of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, you know, but we aren't seeing the assistants. Like we aren't seeing our come up story. We aren't seeing like what we do on the day to day and how much work we put in and how long it takes to get there and how hard it is. And especially as the industry's changing right now, being an assistant is harder than ever.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to keep up with the flow. So I kind of wanted to rip the blanket, like rip the whatever it's called, that slogan. I'm forgetting. Sure, yeah. I wanted to rip back what was hiding behind this entertainment industry and show the foundation of it, which is assistants.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, so that's what this podcast is about and this season's about, and why I have you here, because I wanted to give your perspective from living from, I know Nicole told me, I know a little bit, you came from New York to LA and that change and what got you into it and what you're doing now. And you said, for the 2 seconds we chatted, you're double desking.
Oh yeah.
So you're doing all that. So I kind of just want you to like tell me about your experience.
Yeah.
What got you into it, why you're still in it, and we can just kind of take it from there.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love that. So I met Nicole at NYU because I want to say she was like producing a short film. I was like, or like a pilot I was an extra in.
Love that.
Something so random. But then we really vibed and we like then connected over. But yeah, so at school I did a bunch of like random unpaid internships that were like anything entertainment adjacent, because I was like, I know I eventually want to end up in the entertainment industry, but I wasn't in Tisch, so I was like, I kind of have to pad my resume and show that I want to go that direction. And then I worked at my entire senior year of college, like as an intern, and it was really great. I ended up being offered a job for when I graduated to move to LA, and then the writer's strike
love
happened.
that
We love that. So I ended up actually moving home for a bit. I'm from Boston. Yeah, I was kind of just like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna like move anyway. And so I ended up getting like a random job at a entertainment event company.
Love that.
Worked there for 1 week and then quit, and then was unemployed for like a month and started working at Verve. And so that's where I am now.
Jeez, what was the industry like in New York, being in that environment? Everything's different there, from transportation, from the mode of life, from the way they look at entertainment, and what is the nucleus there versus coming to LA. Whole different environment, whole different vibe. What was it like going from one side of the coast to the other side?
So different. Like so different. New York, it felt more like it was a little bit of a special thing. Like, it's not like that was the industry. It's like, oh, there were all these entertainment companies have their bases in LA, and then they have like a smaller office in New York. And so it was a lot smaller. There was a lot less room for like entry level jobs, but then a lot less room for growth because there just weren't as many jobs. And so kind of what everyone told me was like, New York's good to be for entertainment, but once you're a little higher up in your career. So that's why I was like, okay, I need to move to LA to just kind of like get that start. And then maybe one day I'll move back to New York when I'm like a little higher up, just because it's so hard to start there. I also feel like there's a little less of a community there. It feels like kind of everyone's just showing up, going to their jobs, going home. At least like that was my experience at my current company. I don't really think that's like what's going on, but I feel like in LA, like the assistant community is so huge. And so it's just like a lot more of an experience to have.
How did you throw yourself into it and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna move anyway? How did you get past that fear of, holy shit, if I get there and I'm like out of a job and just sitting, like all those what ifs that we kind of goes around my brain, you know, each person. Like, how did you work past that and still make the jump to come out here?
Yeah, I think having that job at the entertainment events company was a little helpful, because even though I was like, I don't want to do this, I don't know how long I'm going to do it for, at least I have like something. I don't know, I had interned in LA a few summers before at a management company, and so I had a few friends. I was like a little familiar with the city, and so yeah, it was a lot of like blind faith in myself, I would say. Yeah.
How did you build that blind faith in yourself? For someone like, I think it's a good perspective for someone who's trying to make that jump and the fear can get the best of them. Like, how did you build that up inside of you to really do that?
I think my mom would always tell me, like, because I would apply for all these random things and in the college process and internships and whatever, and I'd be like, oh, but this person does so much and they have all these credentials, and she'd be like, but why not you? And I think that's kind of what I've been in the back of my head whenever I try to go for something. I'm like, okay, there's people with so much more experience than me and so have done such cool stuff, but also like, why not me? Like, I've also done cool stuff and have cool experience, and I think
I've never thought of it like that. Like, I'm always on the end of why me? Like, why am I, like, I had this conversation a second ago of like, why me? What makes me like get this opportunity? Why is it coming my way? But I've never flipped it on its head and thought, why not me?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I be a good fit for this job? Why wouldn't I be excelling in this position? Like, why it's always the opposite, the negative. And I feel like my mind sometimes goes there. Yeah. And like keeping the positive perspective of like, why not me? I can do anything I set my mind to. And you're proof of that.
Yeah.
You know, like, so what are you doing now at your current company, at the job you're working in?
Yeah. So I'm an assistant.
Me too, mama.
Love it. I'm double desking. So one of my bosses is based in LA, and it's commercial endorsements and branding. And then my other boss is a book publishing agent based in New York. So I'm like remote for one of my desks. And then both of my bosses are in like our IP team. So yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about double desking and managing? It's two different departments, two different personalities. Like, I feel like I have enough, which is one person in my boss. I'm like, oh my God, like you're killing me. But like having two people would be so brutal. Can you kind of talk about that experience in managing? It's a large part of the assistant job is managing personality. Oh, not even really managing the work, sure, but like sometimes your boss comes in a bad mood. Sometimes your boss comes in a really good mood. Sometimes your boss wants to chat. Sometimes your boss wants to be like, fuck off. Like, it's literally just managing the personality, because the way they show up that day is the way the work will flow.
For sure.
And so having two personalities, and I know one's on the East Coast, but still influencing your workflow.
Totally.
How do you manage that and manage the double desks in two different worlds and still keep your mind on straight and your head on straight?
I feel like I'm still trying to figure that out. So I love that you asked me that. But for when bosses come in cranky, me and my LA boss have actually come up with a little system where in my desk I have a bag of chocolate.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And
Pavlov's dog, something like that.
I think so. And so when he's like, I know like a meeting went a little poorly or he's just like kind of cranky, I will Slack him and I'll be like, chocolate?
I love that.
Chocolate time, and he'll come out and take some. Or sometimes he'll just do it himself, which is great too.
How emotionally capable. Like, I feel like sometimes they're just like, sometimes, I swear to God, I've not my boss, but boss in general can be like children.
Yes.
And you just have to treat them like a child. Snack time?
No. No, yeah, that's so funny. I learned this tip from other assistants at my company who also do similar things. So definitely not my idea, but it's worked very well. But yeah, it's definitely tough. I've gotten really good at like, I have a pen that has a bunch of different colors on it. So my LA boss is green, my New York boss is blue, and I really make sure to separate them. I think visually it just like really helps me. I try to communicate really well with both of them, like try to be really clear, like when do you want this by? Like, do you need this by end of week, end of day, to kind of break it up. The other thing that I think helps me a little bit is because I'm working for one person in LA, one person in New York, my hours are a little different. So most assistants at my company work from 9 to 6, or like end up working later. But I work from 8 to 5. So I have like an hour before my LA boss comes in where I can kind of like talk on the phone to my New York boss, check in, catch up on the inboxes. And then my LA boss comes in at 9. I have some time to work on his stuff. And then, yeah. So it's a little bit of a differentiation there.
It's so interesting because I feel like the double desk situation is happening everywhere because as the industry is starting to change, a lot of people have to like kind of buckle down and hold on to what they have and cut some resources in some ways, cutting resources being assistants.
Yeah.
That's happening a lot. I've seen people being laid off, let go, double desks, overtime being cut. It's like kind of running rampant and it's everywhere. So you saying that probably a year ago would have been like, what? But now everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel when you're looking around and seeing kind of the shift? How do you stay strong and like still keep your head in the game instead of getting lost in the sauce of, oh God, you know, what's going to happen next?
This might be kind of, okay. I think I've been very anxious about this in the past where I'm like, oh my God, like, industry contractions, am I gonna have a job tomorrow? And I think I've just really tried to accept that instability where I wake up every day and I go into work and I'm like, maybe I'll be laid off today. I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Wake up, you're like, okay, am I gonna be laid off today? No. Unemployment checks being collected.
No, literally, I'm like, ugh, like I have to be okay with being laid off today. But I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. But I'm kind of like mentally preparing just in case it does happen. I don't want it to like ruin me, and so I'm just kind of trying to get the most out of every day, and yeah. Mentally prepare for that situation.
No, that's the industry we picked. Like this industry is not, I say it all the time, it's not linear, and there's no for sure that you could show up the next day and you'd be double desking. You can show up the next day and your boss can be gone. You can show up the next day and your buddy to the left is gone. It's like,
no, exactly.
It's literally like, I remember my freshman year of college, I tried rowing.
Okay.
I did it for like literally a second. I peeked in and I was like, I'm out. But I remember they said, they're like, literally they hit us with the look to your left, look to your right. 90% of people aren't going to be here next year.
Oh my God, I hate that's like the Grey's Anatomy speech.
They literally did that. And I was like, the fuck, where am I? And I looked to the left and I looked to the right and I was like, bitch, I'm going to be here. Not you guys.
Hell yeah.
I quit.
That's so funny.
I quit. I didn't last. But point being, that's what I feel like it is. It literally is the Grey's Anatomy speech of look to your left, look to your right. A lot of people won't be here. And you have to think in your head, bitch, I will. Like, you just have to be so like, you kind of have to have a little bit, not of an ego, but you have to believe like I have it. Like there's something special about me.
Yeah.
Because as it starts to crumble in a time like this, you have to give your head up and you're like, no, I will succeed.
No, I know. But I'm also on the same side of that. I'm like, ego, yes, but in the sense that even if I am laid off, because that's so out of my control, even if I am, I'm like, I'll still be fine. Like I will still succeed in this industry. Maybe it's not like the route that I thought, but like, no matter what happens today, tomorrow, this week, I'll still be successful.
I love that mindset. That's something like good to stay in and like remind yourself of. But now that you do have a job, I'd like to hear more about it.
Of course.
What is it like? I know you work at a smaller talent agency, right? What is it like working in an environment where you probably can speak up more and you aren't just like sometimes in bigger environments, the assistants aren't giving as big of a voice because there's just so many of them and there's so many agents in the room and it's just like harder. But I find because I work kind of at a smaller agency as well, like I can speak up more and they pay more attention to my like what I'm saying, and I'm pursuing a client right now because I'm like, he would be sick. Awesome. And they're like, okay, and I'm like, we're gonna go after them, and they're like, okay, like
hell yeah.
But that wouldn't happen unless I was in this environment. Do you find yourself getting more opportunities than some of your buddies at bigger places because you work in a smaller environment?
1,000%. Like especially on the IP team, it's like a really cool team in my company because the assistants are super involved.
So sick.
Yeah, so sick. And so assistants are like invited to all the meetings and like pitch clients and are given a lot of autonomy to like potentially go after clients. It's really cool. And like also give opinions. And it's amazing. I feel like I've also done similar things where I'm like, I'll see someone on TikTok and I'm like, she says she's writing a memoir and I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, and then I just think, oh wait, I work at a talent and literary agency. One of my bosses is a book publishing boss and the other is commercial endorsements, which fits so perfectly. Like I can reach out to this person. And obviously I don't want to overstep on any toes. So like before I do that, I check in with my bosses. I check in with like some people who I really respect, some mentors, and I'm like, how should I go about this? Can I go about this? And everyone like every time is just so supportive of like, yeah, do it, go for it.
Yeah, like I feel like they give you more of a voice because it is a smaller team, and so there are less resources. So that means there's less people seeing those TikToks. Yeah, there's less people being able to reach out to them. There's just like there's only so much you can consume as one person. Yeah, and like my department's like what, like 8 people, 9 people. So there's only and they're also like older. Right. So it's like I know what they're seeing, what I'm seeing is so much different. Yeah, and so it's I don't know. It makes me feel good because I know where I move next. Like I have found my voice here, and I know what it's like to speak up in a corporate setting. I know what it's like to be given a voice. I know what it's like to like have to, but also no one's gonna hold your hand. No, that's something that I had to learn. I thought someone was gonna be like, okay, Claire, your turn, raise your hand, it's your turn, like we learned in school, like oop, mine. But no, if you want to say something, even in a smaller environment, big environment, you have to just throw yourself in there. Yeah, and that's what I've really, because they're talking and there's not even like a blip. Like, do you know when there's a blip in conversation, you're like, okay, my turn? No, you literally have to like shove yourself in the conversation and make yourself known. And that's something that it's not having it's a challenge for me. And it's a good challenge because I want to learn this now before I don't want to be 40 and being like meek and like I'm not gonna say anything. No, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, exactly. Or like it's like they're not gonna ask for a one-on-one with you. It's like never. Like obviously, but like you're the one who has to be like, hey, like can we chat? And it's like so scary, but yeah, you have to do it. You have to, and that's what I'm doing now with these agents because I'm looking for my next job. So I'm like, shit, I gotta get what I can from the inside. So I'm trying to network with them, talk to them. Exciting. It's scary as shit because I have to go through their assistant and then I have to be like, can you schedule 30 minutes for me? And then I have to go talk to these busy ass agents. I'm like, hi. They're like, what do you want? I'm like, just your information. It's daunting. But you mentioned IP, and I feel like to go back to that, I feel like the IP world, it's all I hear about. It's all that's going around. Everyone's like studios IP. Can you talk a little bit about why IP is so important right now, what it is for people who don't know, and why you think studios are like eyes on the prize of IP? Oh my God. That's such a good question. And I hope I answer this so well because my entire work every day at work is gonna be like, Emma, what the hell? Like I believe in you. You have it. You have the ball. Now run with it. Okay. You got it. Okay. IP I feel like is basically just any source material. So it can be like an article, a book, just like an event that happened. I feel like it's kind of just any story that is already created. For instance, if there's something crazy going on and then someone brings it up in a meeting and is like, this is really insane, then the thought goes, okay, is there a journalist we represent who could write a story about that, who we could then take that story and make it into a book or like make it into a show or something like that. So it's really just kind of
like a flywheel of like, how can we take this and make it into something else and something else? And I think it's a really fun part about it is obviously we have so many different types of roles at the agency. So there's like television, movies, podcasting, commercial endorsements. And so it's like a cool way to get a lot of different areas of the agency involved. So the IP team is like people from all different departments like coming together. And I think another cool part about it is, or the reason I think it's so
IP's a little bitch.
IP is a bitch. See, this is what I'm saying.
IP's a little bitch.
IP is a bitch. This is why I'm like, oh fuck, like what is IP? Honestly, what is IP?
I literally like IP to me is just like, correct, I'm just like existing material, a true life story, a book, even like any like a newspaper, literally anything that's already out there. A book could be IP, but then you can change an article into a book, which would be a different part of IP.
Exactly.
And it's just like anything that already exists in any capacity, but it wouldn't be like, you wouldn't like a movie or a TV show wouldn't be like IP. No. It would be like IP confuses the shit out of me.
No, it honestly confuses me too, but that's why I kind of love it, because it's kind of like a choose your own adventure, like those books when you were a kid where it's like, you want to go to the castle, go here, you want to eat a pancake dinner, go here. I don't know, that's so stupid, but
no, I'm following you. No, I get it. It's like, so basically if I was reading an article in the New York Times and it was about something that I found interesting, maybe a mom, not to get horrible, but like a mom killed her kid or something like that, something
Casey
just
Anthony, let's bring her in.
Exactly. So I'm reading this article and I work in an agency and I'm like, oh my god, this is so interesting. That would be IP.
Yes,
that you could take and make like,
yes, but the New York Times like might have someone who has like rights to their material, so it's really like kind of finding things that aren't already accounted for,
like a Reddit thread.
Yeah,
exactly. Perfect. Okay, something that's kind of like out there in the ether that isn't like owned by anyone, that you could kind of sink your teeth into, take it as your own and run with it.
Exactly.
Got it. For IP, why do you think that's so sought after right now? Like, why do you think that like everyone is trying to throw their back into that and it's like all that's talked about? Like, I hear IP more in one day than I have heard in my lifetime, like in the past 6 months.
That's so funny. No, same. I feel like it's because the industry in the market is so bad right now. And so when people are going to spend money on something, they want to spend money on something that already has kind of an audience. People just don't want to take a risk. And I think I really love IP, and I think I'd really love it regardless of how the industry goes or how the economy is. But I believe that's why it's so like prevalent right now.
Why do you think no one wants to take a risk?
I just think because with the writer's strike and COVID, and there's just been so many hits to the industry, and like I graduated from college a couple of years ago, and so this is just what I've experienced, but I know people who have been in it for longer have experienced so many different hits for so long. And I think there's just not enough money to like take huge risks.
No, I was just talking about that last night, where in the past studios were able to like dip their hand in the pot and it was endless.
Yeah.
Like in a writer's room, this is not, the numbers aren't right, but let's say there was 20 people in the past. Now there's 5. Like, as where they used to staff up shit through and through, it's literally halved or quartered.
Oh my god.
And so money is not endless anymore, and so I feel like they're throwing themselves into safe bets. They're making 10 Fast and Furious movies. They're making a Harry Potter TV show. Like, they're making everything second. Inside Out 5, you know what I mean? Toy Story 10, like everything. Despicable Me 11. Like,
I would eat up a Toy Story 10. I would watch every single sequel of that.
It's being ran through, and I feel like there's just, back in the day when we grew up, there was such a beauty in just having one film and one film only. Like the fact that they made a Freaky Friday 2, I'm like, stop now. The risk factor is done because the money pots are not as deep as they used to, and the pockets don't go as like that peak time in the industry. I don't know if it'll ever come back, but it's not my reality. And I graduated September of 23, peak writer strike and actor strike. So all I know,
I get it.
all I know, dude, is this environment.
Yeah.
All I know is clients calling, sorry, we have no work. All I know is like the well is dried up. Like, it literally feels like that scene in God, I always blank on they go to Africa with all the animals from the zoo.
Oh,
Madagascar. It literally feels like that movie Madagascar, where like the well drives up and we're just like all trying to get the water. And so I'm losing. No, I'm losing speed. But it's just crazy to be in it like this.
It's insane. And I feel like that goes back to what you were saying about like the double desking and kind of accepting that nothing is stable. I think it's just going back to all that.
So with that all in mind, where do you want to go? Like, are you trying to stay in the agency world? Are you trying to make a dip to a production company? Like, where are your goals set, and what are you trying to do with your career?
Such a good question.
You're like, shit, I don't know.
Fuck. No. Am I allowed to swear?
Oh yeah, fuck shit fuck. Do what you want.
Perfect, because I've sworn so many times in the past 20 minutes.
Me too. Don't you worry, me too.
Okay, perfect. So sorry to my commercial endorsements boss. I really love book publishing. And I think being a book agent feels a lot different than being an agent in a different department, just because, I mean, I don't know what it's like to be in a different department because I've only worked in commercial endorsements and book publishing now. However, you're very involved in the whole creative process, like very involved editorially, just very involved in the story. I love how like creative it is. And so I think my goal is to kind of go more towards there. And the thing I like about being in LA is you're still so connected to like film, TV, media rights, IP. And so I don't really know. Maybe I think right now I do want to be a book agent, but like stay very much within film and TV and Hollywood. That might change. I am really interested in like IP for studios and networks and all that stuff, but I don't know. I think I could do both along my career. Like I feel like I could go this route now and then maybe do something else in 10 years.
Can you talk about what it means to be an assistant in the book department? I know so little about that world and how you're involved in that process.
Yeah, of course. So it's so fun. I have so much fun with it.
I love that.
Yeah, basically I read a lot of queries. I kind of handle that for my boss. So ones that come in, I flag the good ones. Don't even tell her about the bad ones unless there's something really funny about them that's like really bad. And then we kind of just like,
what is a query? Is that like someone just randomly tapping in?
Okay. So yeah,
like a little baby to this.
No, love it. So in most entertainment agencies, you obviously can't accept any cold submissions, right? Because it's like a legal issue, whatever. In the book world, it's like completely different, where that's one of the ways you get clients. So a writer writes a book and wants an agent. Usually they'll reach out to a lot of book agents will have their email very easily accessible or some other way that you can reach them. And they'll kind of email a short pitch of their book, a little summary of who they are, and then usually it'll be like the first 20 to 50 pages of their manuscript they'll send in, and then if you read it and want to read the full one, then you'll reach out and be like, can you send the full one?
Interesting. And so then you read these and then kind of you're the first step from, if you like it, then you pass it on to your boss.
Yeah.
See, people out there, it's the assistant you're talking to first. It's the assistant you're talking to first. Who's reading the scripts? Who's reading the manuscripts? Who's reading the shit? We are. Who's giving it to our boss? We are.
You want to accomplish your dream of writing a book? You have to appeal to a 23-year-old college grad who knows nothing.
Literally who knows nothing. So throw in a hey girl, like how you doing? Drop the G's on the going. Like literally go in, do in, like literally like appeal to us, because if we like you, you're getting to our boss. First step is us.
Yeah,
people forget that. They think they go right to the agent.
Yeah,
no mama,
no. It's us.
We're important.
It's the broke post college kids.
It's the people who want it so badly, so they give them these positions.
Yep.
We're doing it though. That's really cool. That's sick.
Yeah, it's fun. And then I also like I'll read like client manuscripts that come in and kind of give notes to my boss, or like if she reads something and she's like, I think this way, but I want your opinion. And so it's a lot of reading and like giving notes.
Your opinion is something that's really important during these like if you read a manuscript, if you read a script, anything along those lines, a pilot, you have to be able to like hone in on your opinion because your boss leans on you when it comes to notes.
For sure.
Like they don't have time to read all that stuff. That's why a large part of it falls on the assistant. And like that is the role of us, like to pick up where they're falling. Yeah. And so how have you learned to trust your opinion and know what you're saying is good and like be able to rely it back to someone who has been in the industry for years and not doubt that like, oh God, like, is this going to be good? Are they going to like this? And kind of just like really trust what you're saying.
Oh my God, for sure. Actually, this is so funny that we're talking about this right now because last night I had a dream that I was reading a query manuscript for my boss. This was the entire dream. And I like think I got to page 80 and I was like, wait, I don't like it. And then I closed the manuscript and I was like, oh my God, wait, I was supposed to be reading a different one. Like,
and now we're talking about it today.
And now we're talking about it today. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, what do I need to read later? No.
That was me putting that dream in your head for you to come in ready to talk today.
I love it. How do I trust myself? Fake it till you make it. I mean, I don't know. I think just kind of saying the truth of how you feel. And I think I couch a lot of my notes to my boss with like, I know nothing, but like,
oh, you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I couch it with like,
I don't know shit.
No, actually, I'm like literally maybe ignore everything I just said.
Literally, maybe seriously, like don't really take this into account, but like, no, this is what I'm kind of maybe thinking a little bit.
No, literally. And like, I think to her credit, she does a really good job of like taking what I say and really thinking about it. So she'll be like, no, like that is smart. Like, no, that is something that I thought about too. And I'm like, okay, yes. So I think the more I kind of get that feedback, I feel a little more confident to be like, okay, these are my thoughts. But I definitely am not afraid to be brutally honest that maybe this is all bullshit. Who knows?
You're like, who even knows what I'm saying? But we're just going to say it. Because even starting with like, I don't know anything. That's you kind of being like, I'm not sure of this, you know? Like, how do you take someone like is your boss a woman?
My LA boss is a man. My New York one is a woman.
The book one?
Yeah.
Do you think working with a woman has helped your process, like when you're making notes, because you're getting it from her POV?
What do you mean?
Like in the sense of like, I feel like if I was working with a woman, I'd feel more confident in myself because I feel like she would understand where I'm coming from. And those doubts of like, I don't know anything. Like, I don't think maybe a man would say that. Like, but do you think that has made you more confident in your ability to kind of like show up for what you're saying and show up for yourself?
That's such a good question. To my LA boss's credit, he is very supportive of what I have to say. No, he's great. He's super supportive of what I have to say. But like, I do think that's true where regardless of that, he is still a man. And so he's definitely less likely to be like, oh, I don't know this, or oh, I'm nervous to say this. And so I do think giving notes to my woman boss, that's such a weird way to say that.
My female boss,
yes. Giving notes to her has made me feel a little more confident in that way. And she also acknowledges the uncertainty I have, like, because she gets it.
What do you mean acknowledges? Now I'm just genuinely curious.
She like will repeat back to me. She's like, yeah, I totally get why you're saying that because of this. Like, I totally get why you're uncertain because I'm a little uncertain too. Like, I think we kind of go back and forth and it's very collaborative.
During those times of like stress and when the job's getting the best of you and you're like, your head feels like it's going to blow off your body.
Yeah.
How do you lean into the support system of the other assistants around you and find comfort in them? And like, I find myself doing that when I'm freaking out and having a moment of like,
sure.
Like stupid mistake I made yesterday. I looped in my boss in an email, but I didn't say looping in my boss. And so I just sent the email to the people and my boss sent me a Teams and he was like, Claire, for future reference, you have to say looping in. I'm like, I know that. I literally know. It's so stupid, the email etiquette. But I don't know, during those stupid little mistakes where you're like, oh, I suck and I'm not going to do it. And no, how did I make such a stupid mistake? Because our jobs aren't like insane. There's just so much going on you have to keep up with. But I find myself sometimes leaning in the people around me to like bring myself back down to reality and reminding myself, okay, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So how do you find yourself like leaning on the people in work, outside of work, to make yourself feel more grounded?
Oh my God. Well, literally last week, I made the probably the mistake that as a double desker everyone's like terrified of. Basically, one of my bosses was on like a group call, my other boss was on a group call, and I was trying to like conference people into both calls, and I accidentally conferenced the calls in together.
I would die. Oh my God, I would die. 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 I would die.
Literally
I would die.
No,
I would die.
I passed away. And like there were two other assistants on the call who like heard what happened, and I think they both slacked me and were like, oh my God, girl, it's okay.
How do you even separate them?
How do
you even separate them when there's that many people on a call? How do you even separate? You can drop one, but you can't drop five.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know. I think the call that had less people, I just like dropped them all really quickly. And then I think my boss just made the call himself.
And then they'd recall. Okay, interesting. A large part of our jobs, for people who don't know, is just making calls and making sure calls are running on time and moving people in. And like when someone calls in, you have to like put them all in the same. You basically have to bring all the people to the right party. And if you bring people from a different party to the other party, you mess up the party.
And the phones are like from 1998.
No, the phones are like old fashioned, like beep boop pop pop,
like conferencing in.
yes. You probably have the same phone.
No, probably. It's like so stupid. Yeah, I think I just was so embarrassed, and I was slacking with both those assistants who were on, and I was like, that felt like 10 minutes. How long was it really? Like this is so bad. And they were both just kind of like being really nice to me, and I think kind of just being there for other assistants when they do a mistake, and then them being there in turn, it just kind of, I think, to answer your question, that sort of brings you back to earth. Slack brings you back to earth.
I'm on no, what am I on? I'm on Teams. Literally, that's how I feel. The same way. Like I feel like in the past month, like I said, I'm looking for a new job, and so I found myself not being 100% in my work, which is affecting my workflow, because I'm doing a job application and I'm doing all these other things, so my mind isn't in it to win it, because I'm already in checked out mode. And so because I'm in checked out mode, it's affecting my work. And I don't, because in the work it's not that hard. It's like little tiny things. It's the tiniest, those minute details. But when you fuck up on them, you literally feel like an idiot.
Right, because it's like, oh, like
it's like I should have known that.
I put Wednesday instead of Tuesday, and now the client's responding and being like, wait, what day is it? And literally then everyone's looped in, and I'm like, literally, fuck.
I was about to say, why the fuck did you put my boss on that thread?
No, literally.
Take him off if I made a mistake.
No, literally.
But what's something about being an assistant that most people outside the industry don't understand or appreciate?
That's such a good question.
I know, that was a hard thing to slip on. I'm like, ha ha ha. Well, tap in.
Oh my gosh, wait, let me think about that. What do people not know?
It doesn't have to be everything. It could be like one little thing.
Well, I don't know. I was gonna say that maybe people think it's more glamorous than it is, but I don't know if people think it's glamorous.
People think you get free shit and like these crazy experiences.
Okay, because half my boss's commercial endorsements, I do get free shit.
Fuck, I don't get a lick. I don't get nothing.
No.
I don't get literally anything.
That, I'm so sorry. No, I mean, not like super often, but sometimes they'll get sent something. But it's always very random. It's like a really cool Cotopaxi backpack, or like a bunch of Celsiuses, or like there's this really cute apron I have hanging up in my kitchen right now that was also sent to him.
Love that.
I don't know, very random stuff, but that's like so not normal. Yeah, I guess people think that happens very rarely. We don't get paid a lot. I think people know that though.
Yeah, it's the glamour that we aren't the glamour, but we are the vibe. But we
bring the vibe to the function.
We bring the vibe. You're not going to fire me because I am the vibe. I am the moment. Please. No, but on every episode of we're down here. We have to do a little lean moment. At the end of every episode, I ask the previous guest to ask the next guest a question.
Oh my God.
And so my previous guest was talking about reflection and how important it is to reflect in your life, and how that has gotten her to where she is, and blah, 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 blah. She's amazing. And her question to you was, how often do you take time to reflect?
0.
Period. Okay, period.
But I'll reflect now. I'll reflect on my drive home.
Why don't you feel like you're reflecting?
I'm so in it. Like, I feel like I'm so at the beginning. Like, assistants, maybe other people. Like, I feel like in an agency, there's mailroom assistants, coordinators, junior agents, senior agents, whatever. And like, assistance just feels so at the bottom. And so in the future, I'll reflect about this moment. Like, I think I'm very cognizant of the fact that this is the time I'll be reflecting on. And so I think I don't do a lot of reflecting right now because I have that thought. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. Like, you think in big picture. Like, you don't think in moments. You think in, like, what I'm gathering from what you just said is, like, you think in, like, okay, a year's passed. I mean, or like 5 years have passed. That makes total sense. What is something that you want to ask the next guest?
Oh my God. What fun little treat gets you through the day?
Love that. Your guilty little pleasure.
I have a lot of LaCroix. I have a lot of Olipop. I have the chocolate that I mentioned in my desk.
Dark or milk?
Both.
Interesting.
So that's what gets me through the day. And what gets the next assistant through the day, because I need ideas.
I love that. Well, this case study was a check mark this shit.
Okay.
This was a dream.
I'm so glad.
This is a dream. I was able to get to know you and on a mic and just to chit chat about everything that we thought and our vibe. This was so nice having you. I've made a new friend.
Okay.
Like, we're connected. I'm obsessed. Like,
let's do drinks.
When we put this down, I was gonna be like, we're getting drinks and we're gonna schedule that.
Yes.
That was already on my mind.
Okay,
and I'm
perfect.
like, we're good. Friendship, Nicole, you did this. You built a bridge. And
thanks, Nicole.
On the pod is the first time we yapped, but the yaps are gonna continue in the future.
Should we bring mics to our drinks?
For like part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 of what's going on around here. We have more thoughts and the friendship is developing. So
the podcast just turns into our friendship, the evolution.
The evolution of where we are today versus where we are in a year from now when we reflect on it.
Right. And then perfect.
No, but thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
For rushing in and sitting down. I really loved the convo.
Of course.
And you gave me some inside scoop into your world and I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well done.